The sun is shining, the birds are singing, the flowers are blooming. That must mean that it is the perfect time to make some spooky Halloween decor items. I haven't done this for a little while. Last time I did was part of my mural wall, and folks seem to kind of dig it. So let's do something like that again and make ourselves kind of a spooky Halloween village type thing. Over the past few months, I have been collecting these little village sort of pieces that I find, like this guy, and things like this, and even little guys like this. Now, I know that some of you are going to kind of yell at me and go, that stuff might be worth money. It's not. This little castle guy, I paid $4 for it, and when I looked at the bottom, it's from the dollar store. This guy is one of those like candle cover things. I think the top of it is even supposed to come off. It looks like it's been hot glued on, so it kind of has a little lean to it, but that's actually going to be perfect for this particular project. And I don't have any qualms about painting over this guy. Also, I'm not going to be putting a candle back in it, so it's not like the paint's going to, explode. And then for this guy, I did look these up just to make sure that they, weren't worth a bunch of money. I paid $4 for it. If you can see the bottom tag, it looks like it originally retailed for about $5. They're like $10, maybe $14 a piece if you put them on eBay and if people buy them. So I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't think it's any sort of big collectible. If you collect them, great. There's just gonna be one less boots and shoes out there for you. I think the end product is actually going to make me a lot happier. These three things don't necessarily go with each other, and I know that this guy is a much different scale than the other two things. I don't care, but this is gonna be kind of the center piece, the grand church up on a hill, if you will. We may have to do a castle far off in the distance because the scale is so much different. But what we're gonna do is we're actually going to put a base coat on these two guys. They are a little too shiny, happy winter scene for me. So we're gonna put a base coat of just black flat primer on there and then paint all three of them with a very similar color palette. I'm gonna show you some of the inspiration pictures that I've found for this, and I think you'll see that there's kind of a brown, orange, moss sort of vibe going on. So let's get a base coat on these two, and we will come back and I'll talk to you about the colors that I'm going to use. See you in a second. All right, while those dry, let's get our paints together. So I'm not super sure what I'm gonna be able to accomplish with black, white, red, and blue, but we're gonna do our best. And I may have to go out and get more paints, but unless I start adding gold and copper, may not be what I'm looking for. So let's whip some things together and see if we can come up with a good color palette. A good color palette. Ew, probably shake that up a little bit. Maybe it'll work. What I'm really going for is the grossest possible color in probably just different values of light and dark. Hopefully, that'll be pretty easy to create. I also have a jar of paintbrushes somewhere. They used to live up there, but I don't know where I've put them. I reorganized and tried to make things better, and now I have no idea where any of my things are. Shit. Many hours later, I am done with the painting part. I'm gonna let this stuff dry. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and then I'm gonna glue on some moss because I think that'll help make it pop quite a bit more. See you in a little bit. For you, it'll be just a second, but for me, I'll be right back. So my things are dry. Generally, I'm pretty happy with them. I think this little guy probably came out the best so far, but it also had some of the best details, I guess. I felt like the castle didn't need a ton of updating, but it just looks a little dingier now, which is good. And then the more I got to painting this guy, the clunkier it was, especially compared to how detailed the other two things are, but there is something a little rustic about that, I guess, or I don't know, maybe a little creepier. It's fine. I did find more paints. I now have a wide variety of paints to add some color to these things, but not a ton of color. The big one is brown. Brown is always a really tough color to mix yourself. So I did find some brown, so I can give some of these a brown wash as well. Maybe brighten up the windows in some of them. And then we are gonna add some moss. This stuff just makes it look a little more alive, but also dead. So I'm really excited to add this stuff to it. Also, if you were wondering about how long this has taken me so far, I have been binge watching Bridgerton the whole time, and I am on episode 5. So it has taken me 5 Bridgerton episodes to get this to where it is right now. I don't know how many are in a season, but maybe I'll be done by the time the first season is done. I measure my entire life in TV episodes at this point, I think. Back to detailing. These little houses are way better than I thought they were going to turn out. For next to no money, I feel like I took some trash out of the thrift stores and turned it into something that is going to be a staple in my decor for at least a little while. And it's definitely something that I can build off of. And as far as the ease of these, super easy. I used cheap acrylic paints, bought a bag of moss, but I also used some moss from my back patio. So really, I think you could glue kind of whatever you wanted to, if you wanted some earthy things, and some hot glue. So overall, these were just so ridiculously easy. I've always promised myself that I'm not going to be one of those Christmas village ladies, but now I'm wondering if I'm gonna be one of those Halloween village ladies. I want to give a special shout out to all of my makers over on Ko-fi. thank you guys for supporting me over there. If you are interested in joining the maker community, it is $2 a month. You do get early access to the found fabrics and sewing notions that I post over there. Otherwise, you can just wait for those to show up here whenever I flip them over. I do try to update that as often as possible. My goal is monthly, but lately it's been a little less than that. But I do have some new things coming over to Ko-fi very, very soon. Otherwise, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because I post stuff like this fairly regularly. That is all for now. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!